I did.
What would you like your response to that to be? I mean, you've got a little bit of time here. What would you like to do? It does seem that the other Ren is probably awake. Sam, last time you saw him, he was heading down into the basement. And Gilbert.
Why don't you do that and try to talk to them? Maybe they have a central word for the others one.
I shall profit divine sense and Hawk. Can you sense the other averages at very least, maybe we should at least discuss it.
Sure.
Time may be of the essence. here.
Okay. Sure.
I think we split off and kind of start moving towards the area. I think we'll talk to you about kind of looking back. And the time scale's a little different, obviously, as this is moments after they left, but moving back to the time frame where Zach.
to his cheeks. Come on, let's go.
Upstairs, I'll let you move to Gilbert's door. Gilbert, what state of undress or rest are you currently in? It's late. We'll be about that time. Okay. Bullet?
I tap on the door.
what possible reason should we wait?
That's more towards everyone else.
Well, so the bigger question is, how are we going to get there? Do you have your horse still? Or...
Yes, I have Robopony, and I believe Gilbert has Elk.
Okay. So Ren would be happy to ride with Lillette. Gilbert, you can have Sam. Kind of six right now.
One cat is weird. Two cats gets me curious.
Looks like the same cat.
Yeah, but I don't know if Rock
Fair
would
enough.
think that it's the same cat.
That makes sense.
But like, it's weird that we saw two cats that look identical. So I want to go see where the twin cats.
That's fair peculiar. Can't be everyone's sentence.
any sign of a cat leading us to another passageway that takes us to the north. I say, got us this far, brother. We keep following.
Kick your Hogwash, Gilbert. There's no way to cut through that forest. There's no way to cut through that forest. Right?
Not on.
I hear it with you slower.
Okay. So you press on. By the time you get to about there, the group has made it, the bike has made it to Remick. You see the fortification up ahead. Press past it.
You don't understand. I'm looking out for that cat. Every sign of a wiggle of the tail, like Robbie's heading that way, buddy. Oh no.
At what point does the
Oh,
stag
that's so embarrassing.
Real quick, John, if they're within 50 feet, what at least red
I got a 23. I think I'm good Okay,
you know, they like to keep specifically.
that's fine.
Gilbert, you are also tired. Sam, you are actually getting a second win. Seems like you cleared out a lot of space and made a lot of room. And you realize that you have been bamboozled and our wizard Nath, Gilbert is falling asleep on the
That's a team player. The only things we're gonna throw at him are shade.
You got tired. You should have told us.
I was fucking drunk.
You're
Still
making
are a
things
little.
more complicated, Sam.
You guys are making things complicated enough on your own.
I'm just gonna walk past
They
him.
obviously went off on their own by themselves because they wanted to go by themselves. They would have asked us.
As you kind of move into Beggar's Hole, probably heading towards the top.
want to be at the top of his game if we're going in just the two. You know what I mean? He's dumb.
So you
It also would depend if we think we can camouflage ourselves pretty well off the side of this path.
Alright, I'm with you.
Yeah, then we press on.
Oh my gosh, my music was too loud. It always goes that way.
Always.
I hate my music. I don't know why I do it. I just try to do it to seem cool, but at least it's not playing. But yeah, I need to maybe play it in. Thank you for the notice there, and apologies for the loud music. But that said, so I apologize. I was fixing that. Did you say you're sleeping or are you moving on?
We're moving on. It's better we take the advantage of the attack than to get jumped in our.
Okay, you press on. And the others, you move to Beggar's Hole. Are you trying to get a room at the tavern or just finding a place to rest on the side of the road?
I'd go for a tavern room personally.
Okay.
I think we're
Wait,
slightly
I
at
have a
Sam's
much-
fancy right
I
now.
have a much better idea, guys. I happen to have a metal flask that I carry all the time that happens to have alcohol in it. How about we give Sam a little hair of the dog that bit him? We get back on those, mounts and we ride. Come on, what do you say?
You would have to convince Sam, who's now heard your plan, to go through with this.
No, I told him that. This is my plan. I'm telling you, Sam. I have a flask of alcohol. It's whiskey,
And-
Gnomish whiskey.
You look like
Alright.
you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you can even ride if you want. I'll sleep. You ride.
All right, so I'm going to go over to Gilbert, and I want him to make me. I believe. No, that's a wisdom saving throw. I don't want him to do that because he's a cleric.
And he's
No,
possibly
think of me
within
as
10
your
feet of
friend,
me.
Not as a cleric, man. We're just buddies. Don't think of me as a
You know what?
cleric.
No, wait. I've got a better idea. Are there any guards watching us right now?
If you're in the tavern, no. There's hardly
I'm
anybody
going
in there
to-
beside the tender.
I'm going to walk over to Gilbert, put my hand on his shoulder, and just say, "No." As I cast Prestidigitation and rub dung on his shoulder.
Oh man,
Oh man.
the indignation here.
You look to your coat, and it is Hot Mess Express.
All right, fine. You don't have to ride with me if you don't want to.
I'm
Maybe
sure-
we'll just go on without you.
He's mapped
That's
out.
fine.
I'm certain that he's mapped out the dung to be very similar to your stag's, excrement, just to kind of just punch home the point that he's not keen on riding even more.
All right, that's fine. What do you
All right.
guys think? Do you guys want to rest here, or do you want to move on?
I don't think we should split the party any more than it already is.
And let's go 3 ways. Let's do it.
The rambunctious has already moved on. Yeah, well ahead of you.
Things are. I don't know. I mean, they left without us. They must have had a reason to do it. There are skyships that are flying overhead. I don't think we should pause for this silliness.
Maybe we should pause to let's check out those sky ships.
They've gone overhead, right? They've gone past us, haven't
If
they?
you go outside and look, it looks like they're still heading due west. I mean, you're kind of looking at the horizon. You can see the green forest to the south. That's a large, massive forest there. And you can see that they appear to be continually heading west. You do notice that there has been a slight trajectory change. They might be going a little bit more south, but you're not sure where they're heading. But they're well off in the distance. It's kind of like looking at an airplane in the sky, and seeing the lights kind of way off in the distance.
I think it's a bad idea to stop and rest. That's just me.
I vote we
What do
go.
you guys think? What?
I vote we keep going.
Yeah, me too.
Bullet?
Sam, can you please come with us and push forward?
I don't see what the point is necessarily. If they've probably got to stop somewhere too. It's late at night. They're going to get tired also.
It's Frack and Brox. Do you think they would stop?
Yes.
Speaking of Vrack and Brox, let's go ahead and focus on the dwarf and the half-orc. The auto cycle continues down the path, and Vrack, as you're kind of maneuvering this vehicle, making sure you're not hitting any roots or treacherous stuff, still going at a pretty decent speed. You start to recognize the forest a lot more, and you start to see patches of trees or every so often interceding inside of the normal dull, dark trees, these white-barked trees kind of present, which kind of denote that you're moving into the Forbidden Grove. As you continue to advance, you can also see that up ahead there appears to be the standing stones broken a bit, but you can see that they are present. This is very similar to what you saw in your dream the night before. The other thing you notice is that the woman with the brightly colored attire is standing in your view, and she kind of looks up. From what you can tell, she's probably looking in your direction, looking down the road that you're basically barreling down, and in one hand she has a sharp looking dagger, and in the other hand she has the hair of a young child in kind of tribal attire. Looks like it's one of the members of your tribe present here or members of a tribe. You're not sure for certain at this distance, present here in the Misty Forest. And looks like it's almost as if she's baiting you on.
That's her, brother.
You're
Step.
going pretty
Step
fast.
on it.
Okay.
See how fast we can get this thing.
Do you continue going?
How far away are we?
A few, maybe 400 or so feet. There's lights in the grove, so she's very visible in the darkness of the forest around you.
All right, I'll pull out Fury and start aiming.
Okay.
Just a little closer. And I know it's bumpy and not going to be a very good shot.
You lock the axe gun onto the front, kind of holding a position. Vrack, you're kind of focused on the vehicle, trying to hold it as steady as you can so Brox can get a shot. Brox, it comes to a point where you're about 100 or so feet away from her, or, within range. It looks like this is the best shot you're going to get, unless you stop right in front of her. That said, do you take it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a shot at disadvantage. Vrack, go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage.
16.
Okay, pretty good.
21 to hit.
With disadvantage?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Let me see here.
Good job, Brox.
Yeah, that'll hit her. Go ahead and roll damage.
15.
Okay. Brock, with your 16, you notice that in the next millisecond or so, you are going to either fly off of the road into a gulch and slam into the wall on the other side of the gulch, or you're going to try and take a vastly quick maneuver to try and stop that from happening. Which of those two options sounds preferable to you?
I feel like I should go straight off the ravine, like Thelma and Louise style. No, we're gonna
That is
stop
so
that.
badass. Do that.
So basically, the
we could do it, and then I throw out the owl statue, and we catch onto the owl
You gotta
statue,
hold
fly
hands,
straight
though.
across to her. But I
that
don't
would be
know if I
pretty
should
cool.
lose the motorcycle or the auto cycle.
yeah. So
You know,
what are you going to try to do? I mean, again, it's,
we're
it's
gonna
up
try
to-
and stop it.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw as you try to stop the vehicle.
Six.
All right, Brock. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw yourself. Brock, you lay the bike down and basically power slide it. It does slide off of the edge of the ravine and kind of slam onto the other side. Brockscar, you fall out of the vehicle and you hit the ground, and Fury flies out of your hand, and it too falls down into the ravine. Some 15 feet or so down, you hear a loud splash, but when you look down to kind of like see it kind of on the edge of the ledge there, you can see that Fury's stuck inside of the water, and the handle of it's kind of sticking up out of the water. It looks like it's no more than a foot or so of depth. However, the autocycle hits the other side and kind of just, you hear a loud kind of break and like block. You also notice that Asafune has flown off of the back of the cycle, or off of the back of Brock, and has landed nearby where the cycle is located. I'm going to go ahead and pull you to a battle map. As that's happening, you notice that two other shadows appear up ahead of you. Looks like they are kind of stepping out from behind standing stones and walking down
Hey, I
two
can't
side
see anything.
passageways in your direction. You hear and can see the woman. Let me fix that. You can
Sorry.
hear and see the woman laughing as she kind of holds the wound on her shoulder where it was clipped. The auto cycle would probably be like right about there. Yeah, she's just laughing as those two start to move in your general direction. You see that one of them appears to be a man covered in scale armor with a helmet, no skin visible whatsoever, just looks like a suit of armor pretty much walking around. He doesn't appear to have a weapon drawn, but on his back he does have a battle axe, smaller than Fury, but of a very similar styling to Fury. The other individual walking down the way is a human Harnan male, short brown hair cropped in a military style, plate armor, a very fine looking greatsword, which he holds at the ready in a martial stance. And let me go ahead and just throw some pictures up real quick so we can get a good visual here.
Do we
Or
get to
try
see
to.
those two? Or...
Hold on. So this would be the woman up on the peak there. Slightly wounded on the right shoulder from being hit in the arm. This would be the man in armor with no weapon drawn. And this would be the man with the sword. All right. You're prone, just getting up from your wounding. I would say, Brock, you probably took the brunt of that. So, I'd say you take, let's see, 3d6, 6 points of damage, bludgeoning. And Brockscar, with your 13, you were able to kind of plop out and kind of power slide, knock prone causing your weapon to fall into the water. So your weapon's there, and you're kind of like on this square here. If you can move yourself there,
John, is that the one that had the cloak of billowing from the other camp?
it might have.
Oh,
I look magnificent in this cape.
All right. What would you like to do?
I want to go after Fury.
Okay. As you start to move towards Fury, you see the man with the sword rush towards the ledge. As he does so, you see the blade start to kind of hum white with radiance, and as you start to hit the water and go for the weapon, he casts his weapon down at you, and a beam of yellow energy slams down in your direction. Does a 19 hit your armor class?
Yeah.
Alright. You take 12 points of radiant damage as it kind of cuts into you, and he looks at you and he says, no, 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 that's ours now. And you can see that the other individual is moving towards the rainbow-colored greatsword that was lobbed across the channelway by the tossing of the bike. Brack, what would you like to do?
Where did I get to movement-wise?
You'd be...
The edge of the water.
Yeah, you're actually in the water. You have the axe now, if you want to pick it up.
Okay.
I want a bonus action and rage. Get that going first.
Okay. You want to be really angry,
Um,
and do you want to try and jump out towards your weapon, or...
What I'm thinking is that's a long jump for me.
Yeah.
But could I throw the owl out and jump on the owl's back and have the owl fly me there and grab it quick? Because the
you have
owl
a-
has a fly speed of 60.
You have a 20 strength. You're pretty sure with a little bit of a running jump which you have, you could probably make it to the other ledge, the other edge of the ravine, no problem.
Okay.
If you don't want to use
I wasn't
the
sure
owl.
with the standing up because I was prone. That's a lot of movement.
Yeah, that is a lot of movement. That's fine.
Okay. If you're cool with it, then I'll do that.
Yeah, make me
I
an
just
ath-
thought I needed to cover more.
With the rage, you're kind of down on the ground, you're kind of skidded knee, you kind of look at the weapon, you see that this guy's moving towards it, you kind of get mad, you get into like, sprinter's press, and you just jump, like, straight out towards it. That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
pretty good. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me. With advantage, because you're raging.
But disadvantage, well, I guess it's still the
Yep.
critical success either way.
You land pretty much right next to the bike, and are able to kind of grab at the sword and pick it up. As you do so, you see the man kind of clench his fists and kind of take on kind of a brawler's stance. Go ahead and roll initiative at this point.
Get all these ones out of the way.
All right. Jesus.
So another one for Brock's on the initiative roll, and Brock got a 12, so we got 8 and 12 on the initiative count. And
That's
let's-
just an unlucky way to start the evening.
Right. As you kind of reach down for Asafune, you have this kind of moment where you hear a voice kind of tingling in the back of your head, and you see the two kind of parting near you. I'm going to cut from this scene for a second and revert back to the house on the or the beggar's hole. You're still arguing about moving on. In the middle of that conversation, you had mentioned someone else. As you're kind of arguing a bit, Ren, you kind of have this strange sensation, and you see Byakko standing before you, and he says, "Sorry, needed elsewhere." He reaches down and grabs Ketsujin's hilt, and both him and the sword disappear. At that moment,
What?
Ketsujin appears right in front of your hand. Brock, do you take it?
Fuck yeah, why not?
At this point,
Yeah.
you feel empowered, as though you could wield both Ketsujin and Asafune at the same time. So you're wielding your
Whoa.
great sworded weapon off-handed at this point, and you can also feel the presence of both the espers standing near you. If you'd like, you can move one of them to stand next to Broxgar and vice versa, so you at least have an adjacency. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That is so awesome. I wonder if they have the same or different Esper, dual.
Okay. So as you take up both of the weapons and kind of get to kind of a knee, kind of looking at these two, you see the one with his fists kind of looking down at you. His eyes kind of glow like bright green, and he becomes a flash of speed as his body darts towards you. His fist comes straight in. I presume you go reaching for kind of a defensive block.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
All right. Keep in mind your armor class is currently increased by 2 because of Ketsujin. You see that he slams his fist past your defenses into your stomach. Make a Constitution saving throw, and you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 8 points of radiant damage. And if you fail your saving throw, what'd you roll?
11.
I want you to tell me what you rolled. I want you to tell me it's a 1.
It's a 1.
So that everyone can hear it. You slam.
Wait, what was that?
You get slammed into your solar plexus, and you feel the wind like leave out of you as you're punched squarely in the stomach. All right. It looks like he, after hitting you in the stomach, kind of knocking the wind out of you, reaches down, grabs your ankle. Since you're stunned, you can't really contest the grappling, so he will grab a hold of you, spin around like you were like a doll, and throw you about that far away. All right.
Cool.
He turns around and looks like he's going to head in that direction. He'll do so with the remaining amount of speed that he has. All right, the guy up top moves onto the path, holding his sword out towards you, and you see him kind of focusing in on the blade and focusing in on you, Broxgar. It doesn't look like he's preparing to attack, but it does look like he's readying something. All right, Brock, you lay there on the ground, motionless. Your 1 round of stunning is over. As you kind of look up at everything, you can see that Bianco, Seichan Subeta, and Sayer are kind of standing over you, reaching out with their hands to kind of help you up.
So good.
Broxgar.
What would it take for me to move back up this incline? I'm not sure how steep.
Athletics check. Or a climb speed.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. Not the most athletic little dwarf. Got an 11.
It's not too hard, and you definitely made a bit of traction on your way down. You managed to get up to the top there.
Alright. When I get up here, I'm going to take a shot at the armor. The armored guy is very familiar to me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's who I'm shooting at. I don't give a damn about this pretty boy standing in front of me.
All right, take a shot.
I'm also going to spend a point of grit to use violent shot.
Okay. Oh, also at the start of your turn, gain a point of hatred.
Oh, yeah.
24 will hit. Damage.
Alright, and I'm going to have to roll an extra damage die. Total of 20.
Okay. Did you, why'd you roll an extra damage die on that one? Was it villains?
The point of grit that I spent
Oh,
for...
gotcha. Okay. Sorry. Okay, back to the top of the initiative. It will go to the guy you just shot. He kind of turns and looks over his shoulder. You see his green eyes kind of trail away from you as he turns his head away from you. And then in Dwarvish, you hear a voice kind of just emanate throughout the woods. And he says, "Watch. You're next." He moves with kind of a blurring motion back over to Brack, who is no longer stunned. reaches down to grapple a hold of you. Go ahead and make a contested athletics check. So you're raging, but you are exhausted.
Yeah.
So yeah.
14.
All right. He grabs a hold of you again. As he does so, he kind of lifts you up with by your shoulders, like the straps of your clothing, and kind of moves you over to this stone block. As he gets you to that position, he kind of presses you against it, and then ducks down low as you kind of try to resist his grapple, and slams with like his weight straight into your chest. You manage to get, because a 19 misses, you manage to kind of get in between and block. All right, Brackets, you're up.
Word. This guy isn't giving me a whole lot of opportunities to do much.
He's a
I've
right
got
prick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. He's got me grappled, but my hands are loose, right?
Yeah, no, you can attack and you
Gotta
still have your
do
well,
that.
you still have your weapons, so yeah, you can still attack and a grapple. Grapple just says you can't move. That's all.
And I can hit him with both of them, right?
Yeah, go nuts.
Fuck yeah.
A quick note too. A quick note too. While you're basically in cool kid mode, effectively dual Esper Edge mode, when you take the attack action, and you have you make an attack with your regular weapon, you can also make one free attack with the secondary weapon.
And my secondary weapon is currently Osofune, right?
No, your secondary weapon is currently Katsujin. So you have
Okay, cool.
the Rainbow Katana.
2 attacks with Osofune and 1 attack with the dagger. Got it.
Yeah, short sword, but
Whatever. Looks like a dagger.
yeah. It's so tiny.
Fucking sword. It's a little baby sword.
Fair enough.
You
No, it's deadly. I mean, you've seen Ren do some work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I also have this one oh I don't have sneak attack damage though. That doesn't matter.
No. If you're talking about touching them and using them together, you cannot.
Okay. But what about the 1 strike 2 cuts?
Yeah, so you can use it as your action to make
Okay.
2 attacks with it, and use any once per day function or once per round function that you'd normally have twice. So, for example, if you were, it doesn't really do much for you in that regard.
That's what I figured. So it's better off I just fucking attack recklessly.
Okay. All right. First one hits, second one hits, third one hits. So you just kind of got him, and you kind of just swing in with the weapons, kind of slashing down into him and stabbing down into him. Go ahead and give me some damage. What element are you choosing for Osakune's extra damage?
Can I do lightning? Or is it gotta be? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you choose one of the options on there. Okay, as you watch the lightning kind of burst off the weapon, it doesn't seem to be taking hold on him from the first attack.
Okay. Then the second attack, can I change it to fire?
Okay, and it looks like that one is even less effective.
Okay.
At this point, you realize that there's something supernatural about him. He probably isn't just a human inside of that box. And he's currently got that many hit points. Okay. All right. You can see that the other one still holding his action, kind of maintains his position. Broxgar, you're up.
Kind of grit my teeth because I can't really see past the kid. I'll say, "Come then, young man," and I'll stow away Fury and take 2 shots at
At him?
Seth.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the first one misses.
The second one's 18.
Second one misses. And you actually watch him cut the bullets out of the air. Which makes
Sick.
you kind of... Oh.
Yeah. A few steps this way in that case.
Alright. Alright, at the top of the initiative, as you're kind of cutting into him, you see Slayer kind of drop his hands off to the side, look at you, and just walk away from you angrily, and move over to Seth. Do you want to attack him?
Yeah.
All right. Take the attack. That hits. 17. And what element?
This time we're trying force.
I don't think force is an option.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, force will work. All right.
You can choose acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, poison, or thunder
All right. I tried to go
for the damage. Yeah.
one for each color of the rainbow. Yeah. Force would be green because obviously Green Lanterns. I don't know. Sounds good.
I love that so much.
As he's kind of moving away from you, you can see the cuts that you're leaving in him. This cat.
Green for force when you had acid and poison on the list.
Real quick, Starcop, if you want to look at their characters in more detail, I've got the D&D Beyond extension on the image. If you like roll over it, you should be able to pull them up, and you can actually look at every single thing they got. Anyways, back to
Sam's full spell list is not yet up on
That's
there.
true.
But
Sam's spell list is not up there yet, but it'll be
Sam's
there.
in the inn right now, right?
Yeah, so he doesn't even matter right now. So anyways,
Yeah.
Brock,
True.
you see Slayer walk over, pull the axe off of his back, and touch it to his sword. You then see a very similar spark ignite, and you watch as both of them move over to you very quickly, like they've been inspired by Esper Edge fun times.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
All right, so you see Slayer
Uh-oh.
grab a hold of you. Go ahead and make an
Uh-oh.
athletics check against his athletics check.
11. That should work, right, guys?
Do you have inspiration?
Definitely.
Picks you up
Nah,
again,
dude.
He'll be fine.
kind of pushing your hands back to kind of like loosen the weapons. Like literally, he tough guys it. He's holding on to you, and you cut into him. And he's like, ugh, throws you back and just walks over to him, then touches his weapon, walks back over, putting the axe back on his shoulder, grabs a hold of you in the same exact position, and then hurls you over his head, 30 feet straight up into the air towards this tree back here. As you're flying in the air, you see this pulse of radiant energy fly out from Seth, and it hits you as you're skyward. And you take 22 points of radiant damage. I'd also like you to make a strength saving throw.
$22.
You managed to hold on to... make one more, sorry. You're holding two weapons.
26.
You manage to hold on to both your weapons. You slam into the tree, kind of up in the branches. With the rest of Slayer's movement, he's going to move to the base of the tree that you're in. And you're basically kind of up on the tree. Alright. We'll go to Seth. He will take another shot at you with his Radiant Sword. Basically, the best way to imagine what he's doing is kind of like Link just shooting like an image of his sword kind of at you. Alright. I'm going to go for this technique though. Go ahead and make one more strength saving throw.
$18.
Super good. I know it's definitely a hard sell to try and get the...
Oh wait, I have advantage because I'm fucking raging, right?
You don't get it on saves.
Isn't that 30?
No. Just on checks. Yeah, it's not on saves. But yeah, a pulse of... Oh
You have
yeah,
advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
you are correct. I stand corrected. Yeah, he definitely does nothing with that attack. Because he looks like he's trying to shoot his radiant energy at your weapon to knock it out of your hand. Alright. Drak, you're up. As I mentioned,
Oh,
you're kind of
right.
up 30 feet in the air, up in like a copse of trees or branches above you. Also from this vantage point, you have kind of a clear line of sight on the on her. And it looks like at this point, over the course of the few moments of fighting that you've been having, she has butchered the young lad and is kind of spilling his blood out onto that shrine that she's standing near. Definitely the bad guys.
I don't like that.
No, sure.
If these fucking assholes here, though. You said I'm 30 feet above this guy?
Yeah, you were directly above him.
Cool. I would like to dive and plunge both of these fucking blades into, like, just slamming down into his shoulder.
Okay, go ahead and make a single attack with Asafune. Go ahead and click the second attack for... Go ahead and click the second attack for Katsujin, just so you can do the damage total. But go ahead and roll damage for Asafune, and go ahead and roll damage for Katsujin with doubling it as well.
Wait, what'd you roll?
And don't I also double it because I have that savage attack?
You add an additional die. So the way that we do crits for
Right.
this game is you just get max damage dice on a normal crit. Savage attacks, you still have to roll the dice. So you'll
Okay,
just
but I
roll
do get to roll another.
another D or 2d6 and another 1d6, 3d6 total.
Okay.
That's a lot of effing damage.
18, 25, 32, 42.
Oh, plus that. Oh, plus he's taking another 15 from my wounded damage pool.
Yep.
Uh,
52, 62, 63.
Wow, that's nice.
And I need two more d6s.
There you go.
71.
Oh, and I also.
Brutal critical on top of savage attacks means that you roll another damage dice. So yeah, another 3d6 for this specific.
Nice.
So there. So that's all. That's all of the Fuck this guy.
Right? As you slam into him with both weapons, you feel his body kind of going limp in your grasp. And he's bleeding all over the place, and you see blood just kind of shoot out of the mask of the helmet all over your body as you're kind of like on top of him and kind of pressing him down. But his body, despite kind of feeling weak in your against you, you realize at this moment that you haven't touched the ground. His weight, his body is still holding you up, but he's bleeding like out of both of the massive holes you've slammed into him. I'm gonna say that's your full attack for the itinerary because
Alright, that's fine.
yeah, I allowed for it to be a single shot smash. Very solid.
Wow.
As he's kind of like you're on top of him and he's kind of standing there. You do feel that there's a bit of shaking in his knees despite the fact that he is still holding your weight. At that, you hear this, no, not yet. And then you hear kind of what sounds like a cord being cut, and the man that you are currently impaling vanishes in black shadow and disappears. Kill him, Seth. You hear from across the way, I need more time. Just a few more moments. He changes his characteristic. Brox, you're up. It looks like he's on the attack now instead of on defense.
Popping some more shots off at the pretty
Okay. That'll hit.
21. 13.
That will wound, and the next shot misses. So he goes to block the first one and misses. And she kind of looks at the situation, slightly perturbed. Seth turns about, facing off against Brack, and bolts in towards him.
I'm also going to slide down the hill at the end of my turn. I imagine it's all difficult.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Going for some cuts. Let's see. I'm just looking up. I'm weighing my options here. Sorry.
That's fine.
All right. Oh shit. No, I forgot something. That's fine. I'm gonna just go ahead and make attacks. All right. 22 armor class, right?
Yeah, with Katsujin.
All right. First one hits. Second one misses. He does 10 points of slashing damage and 25 points of radiant damage. The 10 obviously half because you're raging. 5 not so, or the 25 not so much. All right. That's the top of the initiative. Brock, you're next.
Okay. Can I use my life-ending strike with Osofune to charge this bitch and do the exact same thing to her that I just did to the Slayer?
You want to pass by Seth and attack her?
Yeah, I'm gonna let him take the opportunity attack on me.
Yeah, if you can make it to.
But I should be able to.
Okay.
Because it's a
hold on.
dash action, but my dash act with the life-ending strike, I can attack once.
Yeah, hold on, I apologize. Crit, and you'll be taking 24 points of regular damage, so 12. And it looks like after the crit, it'll be 31 points of radiant damage. Are you still standing?
Yeah, dude, I still got 53 hit points.
Sentinel, you stop where you were.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Do I stop, like, right here, right?
Basically, once you were exiting the space, so yeah, you were still adjacent to him.
But, like, I would have moved around him.
Yeah, you would. You that wouldn't provoke
Got it.
opportunity. They're trying to leave his squares with us. Yeah.
Got it. Alright. But I can still attack him now that
Sure.
I'm here.
So basically, for dramatic effect, you kind of like look at the situation, see him kind of get in the way, and kind of look over his shoulder, like throw the blades off to the side, and kind of try and dash around him. As you're doing so, he kind of brings the blade in, slams it into your chest, and kind of holds you in position, kind of dragging you back with like the sword guard, and kind of keeping you in position with the blade. A pulse of radiant energy kind of searing through your flesh. You turn around with Malice and have both blades drawn on him. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. God damn.
Are you gonna life end him, or are you just gonna regular attack?
Just gonna regular attack since I didn't have to
Okay.
dash. Reckless though. Sorry.
Of course.
But that last one doesn't hit.
He blocks. He kind of pulls the weapon back and blocks the first attack, spins it aside. Ketsujin comes in, and you see him just kind of catch it with his bracer. It seems to kind of like release kind of a spark of radiant energy. As this happens, you kind of notice that he seems to have an aura about him. You swing with Asafune with the last attack, and go ahead and roll me a 20-sided dice as you rolled a natural one.
$19.
He just catches it with the pommel, kind of spinning the blade back in and around, getting that close defense, and blocks the weapon away. All right. Brack, you're good. Broxgar, you're up. You should be able to make it up to the top of this little hillock with a little bit of a move. And I need to move the map on the watching screen. It looks like I'm still at the base. Sorry.
Yeah. It's about 30 for me to get up to there.
Sounds good.
And I reload.
As your action?
Yeah. I'll reload the pistol.
All right. As that's happening, Broxgar, you hear what sounds to be kind of like a buffeting sound, like a heavy wind up above you. You're not sure what it is. Brack kind of engaged in combat. You notice that there seems to be something kind of windy, kind of moving up above you. Something flying in the treetops above. There's a bit of a glade clearing, like in the midst of it, but the branches are very finger-like, kind of out and about. above you, but you can still see the night sky, and there do appear to be shadows kind of blocking the starlight.
Awesome.
That said, Seth kind of seeing the situation as it is, kind of looking to it. He does kind of look up for a moment too. Before your turn concludes, he's going to use a legendary action to make a weapon attack. He misses. Then it goes to his turn, and he'll go ahead and make 2 more weapon attacks. That'll hit, and that will miss. Somebody roll me a d20, please.
15.
So he deals 8 points of slashing damage, so halved, and then he does 10 points of radiant damage because I rolled really bad on 48. As he kind of hits you with the first, or swings at you with the first attack before it's technically his turn, he kind of then maneuvers afterwards to the other side of you, slashes in, cuts you okay, but not terribly harshly. And then he comes in for the next one. You get both of the weapons in between his weapon and kind of X-cross them so that you catch it, and then kind of twists the blade to the side, and his sword goes flying off to the stones and kind of lands nearby. He looks to it a bit perturbed, but then kind of raises his defense, kind of like his bracers up in a defensive posture. All right, Brock, it's your initiative. It doesn't look like he's armed, so if he's going to make an opportunity attack against you at this point, it's not going to be as good.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I'm chasing this bitch.
Okay.
But I don't need to... I am still gonna life-ending strike her. Why not?
You're spending the point?
Yeah, I'm spending the point.
Stop. Don't roll the attack. As you're moving towards her, she smiles and raises the dagger up, and you watch as the dagger's blade extends about 15 feet and slams into your chest, halting you as you're moving through. Roll the damage, or roll the attack and then roll the damage for it, and take the damage as if you'd hit yourself.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
So you'll take 13. She'll elect for poison to be the damage type. Just the one, just Asakune, because you wouldn't get the Getsuji.
Oh. I wasn't life-ending strike, though.
Life-ending strike would just be the one swing.
Please.
Yeah. So you'll want to throw...
But 4 times the weapon damage.
Yeah, so just go ahead and throw...
I did. That's the second magical elemental there.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, take all that damage.
I'm definitely down.
She's holding the blade out, Broxgar, as you kind of see her kind of... the blade just extends and stabs into him. You see it kind of glow with rainbow light as it slams into his chest. And he kind of falls limp at the edge of it, and then she kind of lifts him off of the ground a little bit.
Oh no, I'm not down. Wait, I have awesome comeback. That's right.
Yeah,
You're at
seriously,
1 hit
how are you down?
I'm not
Have
down.
some-
That's not true.
Yep.
Or no, I'll use relentless endurance this.
Okay,
So I've got 1 point of damage left.
alright. Yeah, there's plenty of ways for you to not be dead.
Yeah, I forgot what character I'm playing. I'm not dead. You gotta wait like 2 more rounds before that happens.
That's fair. Alright, Broxgar, it's your initiative. Seth is turned away from you, and you can see that there's kind of like a rock in between you and the fight. So you can only see Brock, who's actually kind of closer to this position, because you were hit about 15 feet away. She's still holding you on the lance of her massive dagger blade. Guess it's more of a sword now.
I will shoot Pretty Boy.
Okay.
15
Misses.
and a 19.
Misses. Yeah.
Oh
Then-
my.
Bounce off the back of his armor, and he kind of looks over his shoulder and looks back to the fight that's happening up ahead. As that kind of like cocky gaze happens, you hear the sound grow greater above you, and you start to see the shadow of a massive boat descend down into the trees, breaking apart branches and sending them like spiraling off to the sides. The second you see that happening, you can see that the other 2 are kind of looking up at it, and she's holding Brock off to the side, who's kind of like on his last inch, kind of looking at her, and she says, "It'll have to be another time." The blade reverts back to its normal size. She reaches to 2 beads on her tabard and cuts the strings on them. You see the beads as they fall away from her kind of vanish, and as they vanish, so do the 2 assailants. Alright. perfect. I'm sorry, it went exactly how I figured it would. You guys rushing forward and on, but you do see the young child laying on the ground,
I
blood.
fucked up one of them pretty well.
You did great. And the child kind of on the shrine. It still looks like he might be breathing. If you have some
Oh man.
means of helping. And the ship above you is causing the grass to flutter about, branches to kind of fall down and descend down on you, and the light of it is kind of starting to shine brightly down on you as well. It looks like a conglomerate sky ship.
Fucking cops are here.
I'll
Can
see.
you help him?
Yeah, I'll see. I mean, I've seen Gilbert do this a few times. I'm not the best at it. See if I can stabilize him.
Okay, go ahead and make a medicine check. You try. You don't make it any worse, but he's definitely on death's door. Brock, if you want to give it a go.
17.
Yeah, that'll work. You pull some binding off of your shoulder. You've seen field medicine work before. You've definitely had a lot of fights out in the field. Yeah, you bind the wound, try and kind of get him to like a breathing posture, and do what you can to kind of help him, stay breathing. As that's unfolding and you are desperately trying to fight that situation, you hear loud thuds kind of slam nearby where you're located. You turn to see that several massively armored conglomerate soldiers have hit the ground near you, and it looks like they've kind of just jumped off the sides of the sky ship. They start moving on your position with very massive crossbows. They appear to be Atavian in styling, like the Gear Tech kind of pneumatic crossbows, and they're kind of moving on your position. You hear, "Halt! Halt! Quit what you're doing. Put your hands in the air."
Like, we don't care.
Do I have him stabilized to a point where I feel safe putting my hands? Yeah, then
Yeah.
I'm hands in the air.
Rockstar.
You got
Yeah.
it, brother.
You hear a voice coming from behind them. No. The dwarf's fine. The dwarf's with us. I don't know about the half-orc. And you see a younger gentleman with blonde hair kind of appear from around the shadows. He looks familiar to you. You just don't remember where he's from. He might have been talking to Ren or somebody at some point a long time ago. This guy just kind of looks familiar. You don't know who he is, though. Yeah. And then the massive soldiers start to kind of move around the perimeter. You see that there are a couple of other enforcers who are kind of moving around, kind of inspecting things through gems, which are gems of true seeing. And then you see one final individual kind of approach the shrine. This individual is wearing kind of a warrior stabard, a bright red cloak, which denotes him as kind of a higher level mage, and just beautifully kind of like cut hair in a kind of Parnan military style, sword on his back. Looks like on his belt he has a yellow kind of sash with bats that have been embroidered on the styling. And he kind of moves over to Brack and Brox. Says, "You can lower your hands."
You gonna get this boy here some help, brother?
We have a few potions. He pulls out one and hands it to you.
I give it to the boy.
Right. Seems like the wounds start to kind of seal up and the blood seems to stop flowing out of him. He says, "Not too often a sacrifice is spared. What were the cultists doing out here?"
Not entirely sure there, brother. We rolled up in the middle of what was going on.
They've had too much free reign over the last couple of 6 days. What with the Magir being toppled. Never again. Not as long as a Goodman holds the position of conglomerate Magir in these parts. What is your part in it? Were you trying to stop this situation?
I seen the boy up on the shrine and didn't want him to get murdered there, brother. Don't like when I see blood, especially with a little boy around. Here.
Enforcer 76 tells me that your name is Broxgar Blazehatch. Is that correct?
Aye, it is.
You look to the individual he denoted as 76, Enforcer 76. the blonde-headed gentleman that I spoke with before. He looks like just something about him. He seems real familiar. You don't know where he's from, though. Who is that guy?
And are you Mr. Goodman? Goodman.
I am. This is a conglomerate scene. There was active magic that was detected going on in these parts. Seemed to have begun about last night, this morning. We readied ourselves and steeled out to ensure that the magic was stopped. It would seem that you and your friend here have articles worth notating. However, as I'm feeling in a generous mood and it seems that you stopped what was happening here, I'll allow you to go on about your way. I advise you to register your weaponry at the Conglomerate Tower. Rules will be closer to how they are back west. We won't be enforcing full law. Some articles will be allowed as long as they're registered.
You gonna start kidnapping people again there, brother?
That was the order of the last member of the Magier who held title. We have heard reports, and no, it is not our goal to kidnap or detain anyone unless they have performed some ill against the laws of the conglomerate or the laws of the society of hold.
We'll see what happens there, brother.
Are you from these parts? Do you need means of transportation anywhere? You see that a couple of the guards have actually moved over the auto cycle, are kind of looking at it, and one individual is kind of looking at it with his gem of truce and going,
I'm gonna look at Brox and say, do we need anything for the bike?
I did bring a repair kit. I'll see what I can do. Probably just time.
Alright. Seems like we can get ourselves out of here, brother.
then of course we will continue our processing, and we would hope that you would make your way out as quickly as possible, as this scene is now detained and will be dealt with.
It's biked up and riding, me and my boys out.
Just so I get it out of the way, the blonde guy, because I was looking desperately to see if I could find it, the blonde guy looks like that. I don't know if that's ringing any bells. Probably not.
Shaft?
No.
No.
No. This game, it's definitely no taker boy.
I have to look back. Hold on.
Oh yeah, it's definitely deep. But anyways, that said, the conglomerate continued to apparently try and stop the magic of the whatever was happening, whatever she was doing, and looks like they're detaining the Grove. If you exit scene left and start doing repairs, that's fine.
He's a conglomerate connection, lives just outside of Spellmoth. We can contact him if needed.
Yep.
That's what I have on Connor.
Cool.
The Mistfall precinct, maybe?
Yeah.
I think while Brox are any of the conglomerate people interested in what he's doing, fixing the bike?
There's one guy who kind of is inspecting it with a gem, and then he kind of sees Broxgar start to pick it up, and looks like he's just watching, like paying attention. You've seen this kind of look before, Brox. In fact, you've given this kind of look before. He is definitely just tearing that thing apart with his eyeballs, trying to figure out what it is.
It's no magic. It's all technology, dwarvish technology.
Oh, I know it's not magic. I can see that. It's a fine specimen, to be sure. It is the same kind of motor system as an auto carriage, is it not, that they use about in the city?
Aye, it is.
It's very precarious, a situation where you're riding on two tires only, and it doesn't look like there's much of a canopy or carapace to protect anyone.
It requires a deal of athleticism, a good amount for sure. That's why my friend Brack here does the driving, to keep balance and keep it upright, frankly.
I suppose. But you're
With
sacrificing.
the lightweight frame, with the lightweight frame and the same power engine, I mean, this thing can move. faster than anything I've ever been on.
Amazing. Yeah, very interesting. I'm curious. Are you willing to maybe share some of your secrets and research here with the conglomerate, or no?
If
Brox, remember our rule. Fuck the
If it-
conglomerate.
if it helps with the greater,
Vrak doesn't really know that rule. He fucked those guys that kidnapped him, not the whole organization.
you have to understand the previous major was into some really bad shit.
Oh,
so I don't
I've
trust.
I've been briefed. Most of the conglomerate agents that were assigned at this location have been incarcerated. We have been filling the black cells with our own so far, as we are still constructing the tower.
That's good to hear. And the deed that you carried out here tonight is surely a good one. So,
Well, here he hands you a piece of paper, just a small slip of paper, and you can see that he's drawn a symbol on it while you were talking, and just hands that to you. If you show this to the clerk at the front desk at the tower once it's constructed and is allowing for people to enter in, this should allow for you to find out my location. And if you wish to further this conversation, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about your design here. This is very elegant and it could benefit members of law enforcement, if not the conglomerate, perhaps just the Rastagari. I believe they're called Yellow Caps.
I believe we could work something out for the greater good, of course.
I'm not going to force you, of course, but it would be very welcome indeed. You hear a voice of one of the gruffer, kind of larger soldiers. Hey, need your eyes over here, over here. Excuse me. And he kind of moves over to one of the strange standing stones, looking at some glyphs that have been carved into it. All right. Do you wish to stay and try and get more information from these folks, or do you wish to kind of back out and?
I kind of want to follow them to the Seeing Stone and see if I can just like poke my nose around innocently. But I don't know if Brox wants to keep working on the bike so we can get out of here if I fuck up.
I'll just keep working on the bike. You can.
Cool.
You see the Major kind of look at you and kind of walk over to you two and say, "I thought you were on your way out. Apologies. We're about to perform some very strange rituals, stuff that we don't really want to be seen by the common folk. Not saying that that's what you are or anything, but if you wish to stay, we can of course help you get back to where you're going. Are you from Oltan or Kurik nearby, or where are you?
Actually, we generally reside in Rastagar there, brother.
Well, that's where we're heading after this. 76. You said you know this individual. See them up to the sky ship. Do you mind if we return you back to your home then?
Can you fit the bike?
He kind of looks over at the bike, and you see one of the same clerk kind of look at the situation unfolding and go, yeah. And then Goodman goes, "It seems so."
Then I suppose we'll ride back with you there, brother.
All right. Connor, or
Anything I can help with around here with what you're doing?
I doubt it. And if you were able to help, we might have to have a conversation about your licensing status. Apologies.
I pick things up and put them down real good.
He looks over to the other soldiers. We've got that in abundance. Thank you, though. 76. Enforcer 76 kind of walks over to you and says, "Come on." And he kind of walks over, and kind of as you're walking away, moving to just an odd position off to the side, he whispers to Broxcar. He says, "How's Ren doing?"
He's doing good. Last I saw him, he's in very good health.
Well, his office was detained and locked down by the former major, and I'm not really able to with what I got a promotion, and everything that I've been doing, I haven't had time to work on that paperwork. But if he has a friend who's really good at paperwork and is willing to come talk to me, we might be able to work out something so we can maybe we can get his house.
Absolutely. It's a shame what happened. He's one of the best investigators in the city.
As you're kind of finishing your sentence, you realize that you're no longer standing on the grass. you're now standing on the deck of a sky ship, some 40 or 50 feet above the ground, and it just feels like you were kind of whisked away up there. And Connor kind of goes, "Well, great. We'll be heading back anytime now. All right." Back to the other people on the other side.
So, well, real quick before we flip back, do you know anything about what they're doing down there, brother?
They're performing some rituals to basically detect what is going on, what was utilized here, learn the secrets of the runes on the standing stones, and basically catalog that information, possibly to attempt to replicate the magic, not in full, so that the ritual can be identified and understood. As it does seem that this is the magic that was being generated here and was being seen was something we could see from all the way back in Rostagar.
Well, I think your friend Ren and I are gonna be interested. If you find out anything, come meet us after.
Of course, and as was cited to you, once the tower is up, you'll need to return yourselves to the tower to ensure that those articles gesturing towards the two swords in your hand and then pointing to Broxgar's axe are registered. Having those about is illegal. But
In registering the weapons, unlike the former measure, can you guarantee us that you won't try to come for them?
yes, I can guarantee that's the case. Based on what Major Goodman has stated, the last tower was destroyed because of the hoarding of magic items. It was so desired to be broken down because of that. Registering magic items is a preferred stance, unless the weapons are so vile and so evil that they have to be commandeered and then destroyed.
I agree.
All right. The ship starts to, after about a half an hour or so, everybody kind of reboards it, and the ship starts to kind of lift out of the misty veil of the misty forest and head back east towards Rostagar. Now back to the people who are at the...
Sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Wait, we're actually participating tonight?
Hey,
I was just about to go to bed.
hey now. So, Sam is not keen on going. That is the argument that's been had here. He does not
And-
want to
and-
go. Everyone
And
else
Ren and
wants
Gilbert
to.
are trying to convince Valette to leave him.
Yep.
Don't let the activities or actions of what just happened
Oh, don't worry.
determine
Oh,
Oh
what
no,
you're doing.
no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
So yeah, I proposed to Valette and to Gilbert that we just go. If he doesn't want to come, that's fine.
And Gilbert, what do you say to convince Valette?
To convince Valette? Oh, I would say, listen, it seems like our friends could be in mortal danger, and I think we should go. I think if we just leave Sam here and tell him to go back to my place, or just wait for us here, we'll come back and pick him up when we're done. You know, that might be worth go. You know, we can't obviously wait. Something could
Right.
happen at any minute.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's going to work on you.
Sam, you can reach us on communicators. Let us
Fine.
know when you head out, where you head out to. We'll try to meet up later, but we're gonna try and find and save Brack and Brox.
Right. Have fun with that. Just remember, whatever the fuck. I'm going to bed.
All right, you get your tavern room. The other three, you guys pack up and head on out.
Just as a question, John,
Yeah.
I am assuming that in my drunken stupor, they did not take my bag with me that has all of my papers in it. I'm assuming that that was not necessarily something that Ren was considering grabbing as I
Yeah, I
was
don't-
shoving papers back into it.
I don't remember anybody saying anything about it, but we also didn't
Nope.
discuss how you were being dragged out, so I assume your stuff is still sitting on the table back at home.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. That's what I figured. Right. So, how much does the room cost, John?
2 silver.
Fair. Also, Sam's plan is basically just to go to sleep and then go back by some means tomorrow.
All right, so you go to sleep. The others travel, tracking down the bike tracks. Go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw as you make it a few more tabs through.
Hey guys, maybe we had it wrong. Maybe we're the ones that are gonna die just from
Could be 19.
saves.
20! That would
Oh
be
no,
funny.
we all rolled good.
Would have to be.
17,
We're good.
20 and 19.
Okay.
All three of us.
You're all doing all right. Okay, now make me a survival check as you're tracking the bike.
Who's good at
I'm
that?
good at that. I'm
Gilbert?
good at that.
Go.
My god is the god of travel, so you know. Of course, I'm good at that. I rolled 2 24s. So
Even
screw
with-
advantage or disadvantage.
You're kind of scouting and scanning. You kind of look around for the bike tracks, and they seem to just disappear in the city, like disappear like at the wall of the city. The massive barricades and doors are sealed up and closed off. It's still being nighttime, getting closer to morning though. As you traveled effectively 2 days worth of travel in a single night, or a day and a half worth of travel in a single night. It's getting close to the morning time, but the barricades, the doors, the large gates of of Kuruk, the round walls of the city are sealed, and it looks like the bike tracks just kind of disappear at one of the gates.
Does,
Do you think they
okay.
stopped for the night?
must be. Looks like they're in there. You know, I mean, the evidence of it. So, did we get there at night then, or in the morning?
You left at the beginning of the night, and you traveled through the night, and now it's morning time. You've been
Okay.
pressing on throughout the day or the night.
So, could we get into the gates? Are they going to open
If you
them up?
recall, last time you were here, you had to wait until the morning
Yeah.
for the gates to open up.
All right. Do you want to wait
Should-
for the gates, guys?
Yep.
Looks like they might be in there.
Should we see if we can try and if they're inside, we might be able to hail them on the communicators with more success.
That's true. We could try that.
Okay. As you are waiting for the doors to open, the communicators only have a range of 25 miles per hour, by the way, so they're not terribly useful out here in the wilds. But as you're kind of moving around, waiting for the gates to open, you see the gates start to open, and then you see a grouping of soldiers, Kuruk soldiers, wearing the purple cloaks of the house. And they kind of step out to the merchants who are also basically packing down their stuff. And you can hear a lot of them yelling out to them kind of in a Barker type fashion, yelling out to the merchants, "We have to turn you away. Please head back to Beggar's Hole, then north towards the northern portion of the kingdom. Please. We have to turn you away. Please."
I would say, excuse me.
Hail, young
My
one.
name is Lord Gilbert Kurgosler, and I'm wondering why you need to turn people away.
Kuruk is becoming a defensive strong point. The town of Kald to the north was sacked by a grouping of frost giants. It seems that the leader of them has a massive red scythe that he wields, and they laid rest to the town of Kald. It is believed that they're heading either east towards Kuruk or possibly south into the Misty Vale. At this point, we have to hold our defenses, and we do not have the provisions to keep anyone outside. So I'm turning away the merchants and sending them off back to whence they came. If you are here for a different purpose, state it, and we will determine whether or not it's worthy of entering into the city or not.
We are looking for 2 riders that rode a mechanical bike, and they came this way. We believe they are inside your city. Their track led us here.
So, I've not heard it. You see a gentleman with kind of like baggy eyes kind of walk up. Oh yeah, those are the ones that, I think we turned them away. They were in the walls. I don't remember the report for sure, but yeah, I think I heard about them.
Where'd they go?
Oh, we turned them away. They fled the walls as they approached.
Do you know what? Does anyone happen to recall what direction they went?
The one with baggy eyes kind of, the captain kind of looks to him. If you aren't for certain, don't speak out of turn. Of course, Captain. Apologies. I apologize. My report is false. I'm not for certain. Steps away. The captain looks to you. We know nothing of your two riders. I apologize. We haven't seen horses in decades, except for mechanical ones. And no, we have not seen your riders.
Well, one of them was an orc, and the other one was a dwarf. So
No such individuals pass through our gates.
What do you guys want to do?
Maybe we can search around the city and see if
Yeah.
we figure out what happened.
Do you mind if me and my companions come in and search around the city, if you don't mind?
Of course, it's fine.
Outside the... Oh, cool.
Yeah.
If you're
I'll take it.
if you're not attempting to purchase anything or stay very long, we will make sure that guard remains with you. And the saggy-eyed guy kind of goes, "Okay, I'll do it. I should be heading. No volunteering." The captain looks to another individual. You, them. Keep eyes on them. Make sure they're out of the city within 2 hours. I don't care by which means, but they can leave out of whatever gate they wish. But make sure they're out of the city. By Lady Riley's order.
All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna cast enhance. Oh, not with people around.
Yeah.
I almost
So,
made a
John-
boo-boo.
What are my breakfast options at this inn?
So you wake up and you go downstairs to get some breakfast, and they are serving bacon and bread. The bread is basically used to kind of cook the bacon. Like they cook the bacon to a degree, and then they kind of settle it into the bread, and then kind of bake the bread with the bacon. It's bacon baked bread. And they kind of serve that with like a sausage, kind of white gravy.
Do they have any perhaps brown sauce with this? Or is it just the gravy?
They do have a vinegary sauce, yeah.
Cool. I'm going to grab some of the vinegary sauce, eat this, and then see if I can find some way back. Ross.
You're pretty sure it's not going to be too harsh of a walk. It'll be a little annoying, but yeah, it's not too harsh a walk.
Okay.
All right.
I'll start walking then after breakfast.
As you're heading home, we'll go ahead and discuss with the others what's happening with that. Go ahead.
Actually, also, if I am not surrounded by people, I may cast Expeditious Retreat on myself once or twice to give myself a little bonus speed.
Naruto running across the field there. All right. Perfectly fine. So you make it back home. Before that happens, though, the skyship moves over Rostagar. As it's doing so, you see the Magier kind of walk out to the helm of the ship, which is basically just a strange, ornate series of metal rings that are kind of placed around a single orb, kind of like an orrery, if you're familiar with that term. He kind of places his hands over it, kind of closes his eyes, whispers some words in a very strange language, and then you watch the ship around you kind of just dissipates and becomes invisible. It starts to move over Rostagar City and seems to head towards the middle of the city, towards the tower. As it approaches, you can see the ship. You're standing on it, but you can see the ship. Your presumption is that no one can see you from below, based on what has happened here. The ship parks over the tower, or the portion of the tower that's been built. It's now upwards of 10 or 11 stories, and you see that railings have been set out on the side, and step bridges have been placed out to allow for you to exit off of the skyship down onto the tower's top. The Magier gestures for you to exit and says, "When the tower is open and ready, and we are prepared, absolutely return with registration." Up until then, he pulls out a symbol. It appears to be two serpents, kind of connected to one another, and hands it to Broxgar. And then takes out another one and hands it to Brack and says, as long as you're holding on to these, and if anyone asks you about your weaponry, explain that the Mage Year has allowed for a temporary allowance until registrations have been enacted. Thank you for your assistance in stopping the corrupt magic, and if you're ever looking for any freelance work and or wanting to help the conglomerate get ingratiated here in Rostigar, feel free to come back to the tower once it's ready.
Thank you.
You got any idea what that timeline looks like there, brother?
Tower should be done within the 6th day.
Understood.
It's a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you for the ride.
No problem.
Um,
Go ahead.
Help Vrac wheel the bike.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of wheel the bike down the steps. Clunk, clunk, clunk. You were able to repair it on the flight over, and you, with some assistance from Brock, primarily Brock doing the work, you're able to get the bike down the steps and ramps down to the base of the tower, and there you stand in Parnak, or in Rostigar City, at the base of the newly.
There you stand in Parnak.
Welcome to Parnak. Have fun.
Where would you like to go from there?
Suppose we should go back and tell the others what we just done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they'll be so interested.
You hear a voice from behind you say, "Oh, I've stuck along with you for a little bit longer than I intended. And I'll see you later when Bren meets with you." And then you see
Much
Ketsujin
appreciated.
and Bianca disappear. Then you see this look on Sarah's face, kind of, oh, they're not in the city, she says.
What do you mean they're not in the city?
And you hear Colgar, his voice kind of go, oh, the green-haired ones is, though, somewhere. As that is said, Sam, you enter into the northern gate of the city, pretty mid-morning time, having taken, a few hours worth of walking to get back home.
Cursing underneath my breath at those stupid idiots for dragging me out of bed last night.
Where do you head from there? Do you head back home to get your notes?
Yeah, I'm gonna need them because I need to go and talk to some of the idealists about preparations and plans, and I kind of need my notes for that.
Skyrail, trolley, or walk?
Again, the Skyrail gives subliminal messages in your mind, so never taking that.
The trolley.
So I'm going to take the trolley.
Alright. About an hour later, you make it to House Kurgosler. About 20 minutes before that time, Brock and Broxgar, you arrive at House Kurgosler. The soldiers say, Lord Kurgosler's not in, but your stuff is within, so we'll allow you access. Welcome back, my lords. They let you in.
Great.
As you kind of dilly-dally for about 20 minutes, wondering what's going on, get the auto carriage back to the bathhouse, the side house. You wait there for about 20 minutes or so, and eventually Sam arrives on the scene.
Sam,
What?
good to see you. How'd you sleep last night?
Fine. How'd you sleep last night? As Sam starts heading towards the basement.
I haven't yet. I was actually heading there soon.
Well, enjoy your rest. I have things to do.
Oh, do me a favor, the two of you make Constitution saving throws. Not Sam.
Yeah, you're talking to those two.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You guys
I need to
have
go to
another
bed.
another level of exhaustion. So you have 2 levels at this point. So if you sleep a full rest, it will uptick 1. So you'll still be exhausted tomorrow. Might be a couple days.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep. Sam's here. Have the
Also-
bloods have.
Also, I was going to say, as Sam goes down the stairs, he yells back up, also, if the others come back, tell them that I say they're idiots.
Yeah, I'll let them know if they're here when I wake up. Brock just passes out.
Noted. You head back downstairs to your notes, and looks like they're still sitting there in your bag right where you left them. Looks like there's about a half cup of wine, warm, sitting there, not too far from it. Probably the one you were trying to drunkenly sip down when they threw you on the back of an elk and rode off with you.
Lovely. I'm just going to grab my papers, leave the wine, and as I said, I'm heading toward
to the
the
Idealist.
Idealist.
Alright, Kurt Gosler, you and your entourage are in the city of Kurik, hitting the scene. What would you like to do first, or what are you trying to find out? Where are you going to try and find it out at?
Are we like being escorted around, or are we?
Guy's just
like-
following you.
Dang it. All right.
We could ask him stuff though if we want.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just not going to cast enhanceability on you because magic.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know, guys. You know, I'm not seeing them here. Let's keep looking, though. We probably should at least look for 2 hours, like we're allowed to see if we could find them. Look at all the inns and all the places. I mean, they're our good friends. We would not want them to die. That is for sure. And we want to know where they are. So we could look for them. We should be looking for them.
Excuse me, sir. Someone had made mention that they are possibly in the walls. Is there a way we could check inside these walls as well? Maybe get a hint of where they went?
The walls have been closed off. We're not allowing access to anyone inside of the walls. There was a bit of an oversight last night, and we've sealed them off.
What kind of
Not even-
oversight?
I don't wish to discuss that with you.
I like to use the scrutinize feature.
Roll your check.
Sweet. But that's just the thing. It's that would be investigation. Okay, super. So I rolled a 29 and 29.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to wait
I know.
another day.
He doesn't give much away. Based on what you understand, it might have something to do with Broxgar and Brack entering into the wall, as was kind of denoted by the pale-eyed or the saggy-eyed guy. But he doesn't really try to give much away, or doesn't seem to know anything about why they were sealed off.
Okay, so while we're here, maybe if the others want to talk through official channels, but I would like to sort of break off and see if I can use my ears to the ground or watcher's eye features to get some sense from the criminal element, if anything.
Sure. Okay. And then Gilbert, what's your goal in the city?
Is he going to be allowed to do that? Like if he basically sneaks off and the guard doesn't say anything?
I'm not sneaking off, I'm just walking off.
Yeah, but wouldn't the guard say something? He's supposed to be watching us. I mean, I hate
Have
to
an-
be the
have another guard watch
brain,
me.
but I'm thinking in my mind he's going to say something or whatever, like, "Hey, don't go there."
Guard seems to be more
But you
focused
can
on
actually
you,
see-
Gilbert, than anyone else.
Oh, that's okay. It does. I guess you guys don't matter. Ask around all the bars, all the taverns, all the inns, all that stuff, because that's where all the people hang out. Ask them if they've seen a orc or a dwarf together. You know, riding
Okay.
around on a motorbike.
Bullet?
That's what I would do. I'd go around and ask around, and you know, basically
Uh,
the high up people. You know, all the leaders of different people.
I'm not any use to Gilbert because he's getting watched by a guard. If I
Right.
go with Ren, I might be able to magically enhance whatever he's trying to do.
Okay. You head off and away. The second that your friends kind of leave you, Gilbert, you kind of move to go what you're doing. The guard grabs a hold of your shoulder and says, "You're coming with me. Let's go." And starts trying to lead.
I go,
The guard that's with you. He starts trying to lead you
no
somewhere.
respect, I say,
He
no
starts
respect.
trying to lead you somewhere away once your friends all break away from you. You're all alone, and the guard is
Yeah.
trying to
Sarah,
drag
you
you somewhere else.
Does he see I have a weapon and everything?
He does, and he seems to be trying to. You don't have it drawn. He seems to be
Right.
trying to basically force you out on the street to go with him to wherever he wants to lead you to. Do you resist, arrest, or detainment,
I'm gonna-
or
Haven't we
guidance?
seen this kind of thing before?
Well,
gonna
I'm
try
just
to
wondering if we've got some what are they called again? You know, the bird people.
Sarah Eugen, the Kengu. Kengo.
Yeah, the Kenku.
Kengo.
Yeah,
we have
that's
the
what I'm
Kenku
wondering.
again.
I'm gonna try to persuade him to tell me what he like. I'm gonna say, "Hey, why do you want to take me over there? You could tell me. I'm a noble." and like try to persuade him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Not bad. 17.
He looks at you and he says, I know you're a noble. That's why I'm taking you where I'm taking you. That's why I was forced to watch you. You're coming with me. We're going to speak to the lady of the land.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
Of course.
So I'd go with them. And then I'm gonna think in my head, I thought he was gonna take me into the secret black market where you could trade magic items. Because that's where you
And
take the
this
noble.
is how Gilbert dies.
They have all the money, right?
Alright.
Yeah.
You are led to a massive house in the southern portion of the city. And you're led into it by the guard, who makes some nods at the guards as he's passing by. You're led into the foyer, and the guard steps away from you and looks to you and says, wait here, and walks away from you.
All right, I'll wait there. Make myself look all, make sure I'm all dusted off and cleaned up from the ride. Gotta look presentable.
Okay. As you look on, you see a woman start to descend down from the steps, heading towards you. She's wearing kind of purple colors. Looks like she has emblazoned upon her attire the symbol of House Riley, and she appears to be some form of fey blood. Looks like she might be a half-elf, you think? But her skin is alabaster in color, very stark white in coloration, and her hair is also very white in color. As she comes towards you, she has like a soft smile on her face. It almost looks like a tedious, or rather a forced smile, like she's trying to appear pleasant, rather than is actually pleasant. Yeah, as she advances, she says, I am Countess Carol Riley. You are...
Hello, I would bow and say, my name is Lord Gilbert Kergosler, and it is a pleasure to meet you. And does she put her hand out or anything to kiss or anything like that?
No.
Bummer. What I would do then is, I would just bow and then I would sit up and I'd say, I thank you for your guards letting me into your wonderful city. I'm just looking for a couple friends of mine that are missing, and I'm glad I am able to have an audience with you.
Your friends? Did they end up in Kurik?
I thought they did. Their tracks led us here. They were riding a bicycle, but it has a motor on it, so it's a weird thing, but it seems to be working.
Upon my watch last night, I did see such individuals leaving the city. I believe they were heading out of the south gate, but that's not really of much importance. If they were headed south, they're probably long since gone. The device that they were riding had quite a bit of speed to it. That said, now that you've arrived here, my lord, you have sway in Rostegard, do you not?
Well, you could say that.
Well,
I do.
we're not getting much help from the Duchess, or rather the Bloody Princess, to the southwest, or southeast, and we need forces to help us combat these frost giants that are moving to descend upon our city. We have maybe 2-3 days worth of time. I can return you back to Rostegard very quickly if you swear upon your nobility and your station that you'll do everything in your power to sway the king and send in reinforcements as quickly as possible. What say you?
Well, related to that, I would know the name. What's the Vaticus? What's the bloody judge's
Adrian
name?
Vaticus.
Yes, Adrian Vaticus was sent out, and I heard he was being detained, and so I believe he's being detained by these very giants.
Reports are that he did head to the town of Cauldron Kurik. That is correct.
Right. So I think the forces that were going to be sent out have already been sent out, and they're now.
The detachment that was with the Bloody Judge was no more than 50 in number. Hardly a force that would be competent enough to combat the forces we plan on dealing with. We need the full might of the Rostagari army. the king needs to send his forces forward. I know that there's reports and rumors that the king is dead, but at least whoever is holding regent position needs to be informed of this. This is important. This is a dire situation. And unfortunately, my duties here force me to stay and remain. However, I do have access to lore that may assist you in returning back to Rostigar in haste.
Well, I can see the dire need that you guys are facing, and I cannot leave you guys in in your time of need without helping you. So I will definitely go talk to the king. Right now, the king's son is in charge. And wait, what was his name, John? Out of character here.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Was I have to look through my notes. It's a problem. Never mind. It's hard to do on the spot.
The king's son, just what you're referring to it as, it's fine.
The king's son. All right, the king's son is in charge. So all right, go back in character. So I will speak with him, and I am in his favor. I will find out, what he can send to assist.
Very well. I can send you away from here very quickly. We have a teleportation circle upstairs within my tower. You should be able to move from there quickly to one within Alderac, the king's castle.
Hello, Kitty. Okay, that would be great. Thank you. I do have two other, besides the two companions I lost, I have two other companions that are with me that are now searching your city for those two companions, but I'm sure they will come to meet up with me again. We do have communications, so
If
I believe. Don't you have communications, about Valette?
you wish to reach out to them somehow, then feel free. I would rather that you leave within the hour. So if you wish to hurry about it, I will send my guard with you to make sure that you return in time, and that we send you along your way to speak with the good king.
Yes, I will do that. Do you have anything you would like me to deliver to the king? Any type of
No.
message or anything? Or, I mean, I'm obviously going to speak to him on your behalf, but I can also deliver anything that you want me to deliver.
Only the request that I have asked you to
All right,
make.
that'll be fine. I can do that. So then I would ask to take my leave, and bow, and then I'd kind of stay in her little foyer, or what I mean, kind of in the front of her house, and call up the guys on the communicator and be like, "Hello, are you guys there? Valette, Ren, come in, over."
Valette, I don't know, did you have a short-range communicator?
One of them.
Yeah, I do have one.
Then yeah,
All right, sweet.
Gilbert gets a hold of you.
Yes, Gilbert?
Yes, don't forget to say over. Yeah, Valette, you need to come to the lady of the land. Her name is it's House Riley. You'll notice. You'll be able to find her place. Doesn't she have kind of a tower?
She's kind of the noble of this city. She's kind of, the whole city is built around her house. Yeah.
Yeah, so just ask anybody there to point you in the right direction. And try to get here as soon as possible. I talked to the lady,
Okay.
and she needs us to give a message to. Actually, this is 25 words, isn't it? So I
Yeah.
just say come.
Well, no. That one you can keep. No, that one you can.
Oh, okay. I can keep talking.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Over.
quick note. You managed to get the communication. Ren, you very quickly learned that everyone in circles that you're quickly able to identify states that no such individual has ever been in the city as of late. No one entered the city last night. There's no leads. And you kind of trace back your steps, look for notification of the blue gnome noble seen about town, and very quickly find that he's been taken to House Riley.
Mm-hmm.
The three of you meet up, and I presume just prepare to go that direction. We'll go ahead and cut from you guys for a second here. I want to go back to Sam.
Yo.
Hey, buddy. You head to the Idealist to talk to them. What pressing
Right.
items did you have?
Right, so I would get Winston and Peter together, and I I'd pull out the like book that I had gotten from what's his name's lab.
Mm-hmm. Talos.
Nizaran's. From Nizaran's lab.
Nimmerton? Yeah.
I'd just sort of like slap that on the table or whatever was in front of me. Desk, table, floor. And just sort of look at them and like, right, so don't want to alarm you two, but the world might fucking end sometime soon, and I'm not sure anyone else is going to do anything about it, so we might have to.
Winston kind of looks at you. Yeah. I mean, I figured it'd be on our shoulders. And Peter, you said Peter was there as well, right?
Yeah, I got both of them.
Okay, he kind of looks at you and says, "The fuck are you on about?"
Right, so I had this lovely dream the other night about a second moon and tentacles coming out of the sky. And doing a little bit of research, you know, I think that basically the second moon, which dang it, I have the name on the tip of my tongue every other game, and right now I cannot remember. Umbrio, right? Umbra. Right, the second moon, Umbra, might come back, and with it, Sextor Sol might return, and, you know, be evil and stuff.
Peter looks like he requires a bit more convincing. If you're trying to show him your notes and stuff, go ahead and make me a Charisma Arcana check. Winston kind of like says, "It's like you've been saying."
I'm just going to give myself, I'm just hitting persuasion for that.
Okay.
I gave expertise, or not expertise, proficiency in that
Okay.
for this roll.
Yeah, that
So
works.
21.
Peter seems to be like, "Is this serious shit?" Looking at the notes as you're kind of looking at him, and you're like,
Yeah, I also talked to some wizard's ghost about this, and he seems to have some pretty strong inclinations that this is going to happen too. I would be talking with the other people with this about this morning, but for some reason they decided to go off and chase after fairy tales or something. I don't know. I was drunk last night.
"Yeah, that's interesting."
Yeah, so I know the conglomerate's becoming a problem again in another tower and all that, but I just somehow feel like this might be also pressing too.
They haven't been a big problem. We haven't even seen any of their enforcers or agents moving about the town. So,
Yeah, give that time, I'm sure they'll come.
have you seen any activity from them?
I mean, for while I've been here, not really, but
Nothing at all, huh? Yeah, so we haven't seen anything besides the tower being erected. There hasn't been any movement at all. It doesn't seem that there are any sky-ships remaining in the city. It doesn't seem that there are any of their agents or enforcers out and about. I don't think they've taken any action yet.
as a question, did I see the sky ship this morning, or did I just see the
Last night.
two guys? Yeah, well, last night / this morning, in terms of in Rostigar,
You
with
saw
the
it.
return of...
You saw it last night. You didn't see it return.
Okay, just last night. Cool. I mean, I did see some airships not too far north of here.
Interesting. Yeah, well, whatever activity they have so far, it hasn't happened in the city, so that's good on us. If we want to wait a little while and see if they get built back up, or we could attack them while they're, building up now. It's up to you, boss.
I mean, if we attack them right now, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do as much damage if we do it by ourselves. We need to bring the others in.
Right. So same as before. Okay. Well, do you want us to stick with you, or do you want us to keep on about our jobs and our business? It sounds like you're pretty serious about this shit going down.
I'd say keep on with your business here, and I don't know. If we can get the other gangs with us to take on the conglomerate, it might be worthwhile.
Alright. And he says, "Oh, before I forget," pulls out a bag out of his bag of holding and tosses you it.
What's this?
It's what we were able to make on the black markets here in Rostogar with what we had in the bag. Since you weren't able to sell it in Sinovia or anywhere, we made a little bit. It's not a lot, but that's what I'm able to afford you. That's your cut. It feels like a pretty hefty bag. If you pop it open, you see that inside there are Imperials, probably about 100 of them. So 100 platinum.
Right. So I'd probably take out about 25 of those, toss the bag back, and say, "Yeah, Cause needs this more than I do."
You got it, Chief. All right. Well, you know how to reach us. Winston says, "You sure you don't want me to go with you, boss?"
Yeah, I'm sure, Winston. You'll serve better here.
You got it. I'll keep an eye on Peter.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you head back home, and back in Kurik, Lady Riley invites you others into her house and leads you up to her tower, where you see a magical circle has been engraved on the ground. You see that on the wall there are 3 other magical circles, teleportation circles, that have been engraved on the walls. They look like they're simply just referential, not. They don't look to be actual teleportation circles. The one on the ground, you look at it, Gilbert, and if you want, you can go ahead and pen it down so you have it as noted teleportation circle. Lady Riley appears to allow you to do that. And the other 3 circles that are on the wall appear to have denotations beneath them designating where they're located. One of them states that it goes to Alderac, which would be the capital building of the city of Rostogar. Another one appears to denote that it goes to a city called Whitespring. And the last one appears to denote that it goes to a city called Nettin.
How do you spell that?
Netin, which you would know as the capital city of the kingdom of Nettin, or Ragnell.
It was the capital of what?
Nettin is the capital of Ragnell.
Alright. Cool.
Alright.
So yeah, does she need me to do the teleportation spell? Or is she gonna do it?
If you can utilize it, I can cast the teleportation circle spell to allow you passageway.
Okay. Thank you very much.
She pulls out a scroll, she casts the spell off of it, and as you stand there in the circle, all 3 of you disappear and reappear inside of a chamber filled with Rostagari honor guard. And
Oh boy.
they look at you.
And I say, you know, we come in peace. We came from House Riley. We have a message for the king.
They
You messed that up, Kevin. We come in peace. Take us to your leader.
Yeah, I could have said that.
the king is currently unavailable at this time. We will allow you passageway through the Capitol building, but at this moment the king is not able to be met with.
What about his advisor at Resicant?
Rathakant hasn't been seen in these parts for the last few days.
Did he, just out of character, did he go with the Bloody Judge?
No, Rathakant is Dryson Keela. He's a member of the Grey Order. Last time you saw him was during the Patreon-only game, where he was played by
Right,
Chris
you're right.
Edwards.
Right, and he got hung up on the force wall or something.
On the prismatic wall,
Prismatic
yeah.
wall. He
Yeah,
had to
that
pull
was
the
fun.
ripcord.
He hasn't been seen in a couple of days because his pride has been shamed.
Yeah.
Ask
we
if
still
we
love
could send
you.
a message.
We still love you guys.
To whom?
Well, I was going to say to Gilbert. Ask if we could send a message to the king.
You can leave a
Yeah, I
message
would-
for him, of course.
I would like to go kind of off to the side, talk to Rand a little bit, and say, hey, I'm not sure if we should leave that message to just anybody. I'd like to be able to tell the king directly, because you know what I mean. So maybe I leave a message to the king saying you need to contact me because I have news that's of dire importance or something like that.
What is your? You see the guard kind of looking at you as you're speaking to Ren, and it seems that they've overheard. What is your message?
Will you deliver the message exactly as I speak it to you?
Of course.
Or close enough? All right. And that, I'll just leave this so that he'll hopefully get it soon. The message is this: I was just at Kurik, and they are now fortifying themselves. They're expecting to be attacked by the force of giants that's been, wreaking havoc. And they are begging for forces from the king to come and help out, because the group of giants is reportedly around 50, right? Am I right, guys, when I say that? 50?
No, that's the
You're the one
number.
that talked to her.
That was the number of people that were in the Bloody Judges Retinue.
Blood Judges group, right? Okay, so it shouldn't be that many giants. But anyways, there's several giants. It's enough that they're going to need a force of people to help them defend their city against it. So she wants...
The Master of the Watch, Matilda Bothan, will be informed of this, and if she sees that it's necessary to rise a force, she will do so.
They believe that they are in imminent danger of being attacked. Like within a few days, they could be attacked. So, time is of the essence. I would like to declare an emergency.
I will make sure that the Master of the Watch receives this message, and if she feels that it's necessary to act on this, she will do so. Do you want some assurances? I will go and deliver the message now with you in my presence if you wish.
That would be great. We can wait a little bit longer.
Come with me then.
Over at Ren and Valette.
As you follow in behind him, the honor guard moves with you, kind of encircling you, and you move through the halls of Alderac. You see a couple of clerks kind of looking at you like, whoa, what's going on with Lord Kurgosler? Why is he got an honor guard? And then you're eventually led to...
This is awesome. Wait a minute, I want to savor this moment, guys. Mark this down on this thing. Where are we on the time scale?
You're eventually led to
I'm going to keep walking around with the honor guard.
Let sees that, she whispers to Gilbert. Gilbert, check your vanity.
Well, it seems my vanity is doing good right now. It's on full.
You're
I was getting down pretty low before.
So
I
I
really
really have
have
no sense of how important it is for you to fight that sin.
So I'm making a prediction that Gilbert's going to go evil at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
There's no way he's not giving in the vanity.
You're
I
led
just love you
into
guys way too much.
the chamber.
You're my force of heroes.
You're led into a chamber that
Right.
you know the name of, but you've never been in, Lord Kurgosler. The Chamber of War. As you enter into it, you see that two individuals who you've seen before, Matilda Bothane and Malik Brighton, are in attendance. Looks like they're sitting there. Matilda with a seat of honor next to the throne seat, the king's seat, which is empty. Also in attendance are a couple of other soldiers, some captains of the guard who you've seen throughout the city. And you also notice that there's an individual in battered green armor, kind of resting against the edge of the table, looking, and as he kind of sees you enter, he turns to see that you've entered in. His eyes are solid green. He wears the armor of the Bloody Judge. It appears that this is Adrian Vaticus.
I love this guy. He's my savior.
Matilda looks up to you, looks to Ren curiously, and then kind of like lets smile, like grace her lips, and then like pushes that feeling aside. Looks to Gilbert and says, "Lord Kurgosler, you've interrupted a meeting of the highest order. The guard says that it is important. Speak your piece quickly."
Yes, I apologize. What is going on is the city of Kurig has shut its gates, and it's reinforcing and barricading itself because they are under imminent threat of being attacked by the force of giants that's out wreaking havoc on the countryside.
We're aware of the force of giants. What of called Do you have any reports from the Countess regarding the town of Cald? This is Adrian speaking, by the way.
Oh. No, what was this? Wait a minute. What was the city they told me was sacked? Because I didn't write that down. Was it called? Come on, guys, help me out here.
It was
I'm
Cald.
gonna
We
phone a
weren't
friend.
there.
Yeah,
I know,
none of
but-
us were there.
It was Cald.
No, you weren't there, weren't you? No, you're right. None
No.
of you guys were there.
It was
Son of a bitch.
it was Cald.
It was
What?
cold.
Can I do an intelligence check to see if I would remember that? Because of me as a person, I don't
It
remember
it was Cald.
that. Okay, I would remember that.
It was Cald.
All right, it was called. I would say yes. It was sacked.
You see Adrian kind of turn and look back towards Matilda. Matilda looks to them. Gather your force. If you wish to arrive at the town or the city of Kurik quickly, we'll allow you access to the teleportation circle. So far as none of the conglomerate's forces are sent that way, they must not be made aware of the presence of the circle. That said, we will send the forces. Adrian, rise them up. Thank you for this notice, Lord Kirkgosler. You may go.
What? What? Valette? Are you like you're standing there, right?
Valette is like doesn't want to speak out of turn. And if
Nobody
she's not
pays her
called
any
on-
mind.
All right, she doesn't say anything.
No. I would go up to you and be like, here, you can whisper it in my ear. That's allowed.
We saw a conglomerate skyship last night.
Yes, you're right. Oh. Now, since you mentioned the conglomerate, I thought you might want to know that we saw a conglomerate skyship last night. And we just want to make you aware that they are out there.
Their Magear arrived a few days ago. We're aware that their presence is here. We haven't seen much of their presence, and they have not requested a formal meeting with the king. However, the king, the acting king, is currently indisposed.
Okay, is there anything that we could help you with?
You see Malik kind of say, on a fool's errand? No, we're fine. You may leave, Lord Kirkgosler, Matilda says, and looks to Malik like, shut up.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Shut up, bitch!
Would it be possible to take the bloody judge with us on our as part of our force? I know he is.
You don't have a
great.
force. They all look at you kind of confused. Lord Adrian Vaticus, the Margrave of this kingdom, has been given the
Right.
rights to the force he requested. He was returned here after his defeat at the hands of Jormungandr, the frost giant Jarl who rules over the frost giant forces. You see them all kind of looking at you like,
Oh, that's right.
Did you think
I,
that-
I knew that. I should not have assumed that it was my force. That's my mistake.
you may go, Lord Kirkgosler.
Alright,
All that
then
vanity
I'll
you
go.
had just went right out the fucking window.
Right. Now I have to fill it back up again,
Gotta
guys.
fill it back
I'm
up.
out of vanity.
Alright, you get back to the house.
Alright.
Sam, you get back to the house. Broxgar and Brack, you are sleeping in the house, resting up, and just trying to not be tired. You eventually all get back to the house. And as you do, most of you are really, really tired.
Yeah.
Ren,
I
Villette-
feel fine.
Ren, Villette, and Gilbert, go ahead and roll another Constitution saving throw.
Come on, baby.
Oh gosh.
Do I get a
can't
bonus?
roll
Do I
good
get
here.
that bonus?
I'm gonna stand next to Valette when I.
Stand on
Like,
top
we
of
would know
Valette.
that.
Unless you are literally hugging Villette for the
Right.
entirety of the time, you
I
don't get the
failed.
bonus.
I know I failed.
18.
I had crit failed.
So Gilbert
Ooh, we
and
suck.
or Gilbert gained 1 level of exhaustion more than you already have. Villette, you stay at the same 1 level you have. And Ren, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion on this part, so you should have a
Yeah.
total of 3, I believe.
Nope, 0. This is my first.
So you'll have
So
2
this-
total.
Yeah.
So we actually ended up getting more tired just for going after and trying to search for our friends. I guess we've learned a lesson to just let them go next time and just hang
Yeah,
out at
next
home,
time.
Be
Next
like,
time,
"Oh,
don't worry about your friends.
Yeah.
They don't.
That's a great message, Sam. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. They,
No problem.
So
Yeah.
Fuck off, Sam.
you all regroup back at the house.
That you do realize that's just Matt talking, right?
I totally realize this is Matt talk. That's both Matt and Sam talking.
It's
yeah,
like,
it's ma'am.
yeah, crossover.
Oh, you think Sam's going to talk to you right now?
That said,
Oh, that's a good point.
it's a pretty decent stopping point as you regroup to kind of decide what the plan of action is next. There are a lot of threads obviously out on the table, so I definitely want to kind of give you some opportunity to kind of decide what threads are next. I'm going to go ahead and call it for tonight's session. Thanks for watching, especially the new folks there that did, and have a great rest of your, whatever. I don't have an outro word. I'm not cool like other people. I just run a game and archive it. All right, bye.
Bye. And you be you, John.
Bye.
Bye.